How are you all doing? Found two little passages from two different books about Christopher Columbus seeing UFO, him and his crew, in Bermuda Triangle. So I figured I'd read those two passages. A lot of people don't know this, and it's not mentioned in any history books, which history books are wrong anyways, because Christopher Columbus didn't discover America. Leif Erikson did. But I don't know, it's still interesting, these two little fragments that I found. So, first book is Devil's Triangle by Richard Weiner. The second one is a super rare book. It's Flying Saucers Have Landed by Desmond Leslie. It's worth like $300, this book, and I got it for like $3, so that was a pretty dope deal. I'll read this little passage here, this fragment. San Salvador Islands in the Bahamas, where Christopher Columbus supposedly made his first landfall in the New World, is located well inside the perimeter of the Devil's Triangle, as are Crooked Island and Rum Cay, which some historians claim was Columbus's first sighting of land. It is mentioned in the Great Explorer's Chronicle that the night before the history-changing discovery, he and his crew saw what appeared to be greenish glowing light that at times would move about. Anthropologists theorize that what Columbus saw were cooking fires and fishing canoes of Carib Indians moving up and down in the waves. Some oceanographers think that the greenish lights were fires on the beach and that the breaking surf distorted the color and shape of the blazes and created an illusion of movement. The philosophy of the ufologist needs no explanation, but no matter what it is, Indians, illusions, or UFOs, that the mariners saw on the night of 1492 along the eastern fringe of the Bahama Islands, strange and unusual things have been happening in that area ever since. So, that's one fragment from one book. Then I'll read another fragment from another of the same thing. It's pretty interesting stuff, man. UFOs way back then, 1492. The popular Southwest belief that a strange meteor shower was underway has been blasted by Dr. Lincoln La Paz, a mathematician, astronomer, and director of Institute of Meteorites of the University of New Mexico. He points out the normal fireballs do not appear green. They fall in the trajectory forced by them by gravity, are generally as noisy as a freight train and leave meteorites where they hit. The green New Mexican species does none of these things. Neither do the green fireballs appear to be electrostatic phenomena. They move too regularly and too fast. If the fireballs are the product of a United States weapons project, as some Southwesterners believe, it is a very secret one indeed. The Atomic Energy Commission and every other government agency connected with weapons development has denied to Life magazine and any responsibility for the fireballs. Could they be self-destroying Russian Renaissance devices? Not likely. While the United States believes the Russians have an intercontinental guide missile, there is no intelligence that indicates that they have developed silent power plants or objects capable of moving nearly as fast as meteors, 12 miles a second. Yet, for whatever it may be worth, the only reports of green fireballs prior to 1945 come from the Baltic area. The extreme greenness of the fireballs has impressed most witnesses. Most witnesses, when asked to indicate the approximate color on spectrum chart, most of them have touched the band at 5,200 angstroms. 5,200 angstroms. Where am I at? Close to the green green of burning copper. Copper is almost never found in meteorites. The friction of the air oxidizes it shortly after the meteor enters the upper atmosphere. However, a curious fact has been recorded by aerologists. Concentrations of copper particles are now present in the air of Arizona and New Mexico, particularly in fireball areas. These were not encountered in air samples made before 1948. Okay, so I see what I wrote this down for. Yeah, I actually wrote it down because I was debunking it. That's funny. That was a fragment I was actually debunking. Sorry. I take notes in my books. But yeah, it goes in a little more depth of the green fireball type UFOs. And that first fragment was about Columbus seeing the green fireball types. So yeah, if you want to know the page numbers, the first one or the second one I read was page 43, and the other one was 43, and Flying Saucers Have Landed was the book, and this one is Devil's Triangle, page XIV. So there you go, Columbus seen UFO, green fireballs in the sky. So y'all have a good day.